New TCG alert. New TCG alert. New TCG alert. New TCG alert. How to play SolForge Fusion, a game by Justin Gary, creator of Ascension deck building game, and Richard Garfield, the Great. A unique deck game where you mash up two procedurally generated, one-of-a-kind decks. Okay. Each half deck consists of 10 level 1 cards, 10 level 2 cards, and 10 level 3 cards. Now, all of the 10 cards are going to be actually the same card. The difference is they'll have different attack and health stats. This one starts at a 4/2 Indomitable Fiend. And then in the level 2, the same Indomitable Fiend has it has 6 attack, 3 health. Level 2. And then going into level 3, the Indomitable Fiend has 9 attack, 5 health. Okay. So you're going to mash up two different colored decks. Right here we got red and purple. Now, with every 30 card deck, we also have a Forgeborn. So these Forgeborn, whenever you start the game, you're going to pick one of these Forgeborn to fight for you for the rest of the game. So say that we pick the Elemental. The Necromancer will just go to the side, not to be played for the rest of the game. Okay. And every 30 card deck in Forgeborn, they have a list of the 10 cards that come with it in this procedurally generated deck. And for now, we'll just put those to the side. Okay. So we start the game off by shuffling both level 1's cards from both decks. Shuffle those up. Shuffle. And then we'll place both of the level 2's to the side. Right here on the playmat. It goes kind of across from the deck on the other side from the draw deck. And then we'll do the same for the level 3's. Now they can go face up and they don't have to be shuffled because they're just upgrade cards. You'll upgrade into those cards. Okay. Deck right here. Deck right here. Discard pile to the right of the deck. Then we've got the Banish Pile. We'll get into the Banish Pile in a second. We've got the Forge card right here. I have this representing the Forge card. Sunny side up means you're the active player and you can play your creatures into the front row. Now, the passive player, they must play their creatures into the back row. Okay, so I'll start out as the starting player. Normally you roll off to see who goes first. Okay, in the game, we've got 5 lanes on the field. And then these lanes have a back row and a front row. Like I said, active player gets to play right into the front row. The passive player must play their creatures into the back row. Okay, in the Forgeborn, as we said, this is the one I'm going with for the game, would go right here on the board. And then that's pretty much all the zones we have in the game. And then I've already got the opponent's level 1's already shuffled. Okay. I have their level 2 and level 3 cards off to the side for upgrading later. And both players start the game with 50 health. 50 for me, 50 for the opponent. Okay, now, the object of the game is how you win is you drop your opponent's health from 50 health down all the way to 0 health. If you can't do that, then at the end of the 4th cycle, we will go to sudden death. So whoever has the least health at the end of the 4th cycle, they actually lose the game. So keep your health high. Okay, now as far as the setup of the game, you decide which Forgeborn to play with. Both players do this. So I'll get rid of the green Forgeborn for the opponent. And then they'll be playing with Steel Rosetta. Okay, now you decide which Forgeborn to play with of your two available. You set your starting health to 50. You roll off to see who's going to go first. We're just going to imagine I rolled higher. Then they take their Forge card. This is the Forge card, sunny side up. That means I'm the active player and can play in the front row. And then whenever so pretty much when we're all the way rolling into the game, one important thing to remember, the most important thing to remember when playing this game actually, is whenever you play a spell. Okay, so say this is my starting 20 card deck. And then whenever I play a spell card, there are creatures and spell cards in this game. So creature, spell. Whenever you play a spell card, you will play that directly into the banish zone. And then you immediately play the next level up. You play that same card. You put that same card into your discard pile. So if I were to play Trial by Combat, this spell, which is a level 1, I would give one of my creatures +5 attack. You may have it battle an enemy creature. Okay, so say that I'm playing that, and then I have a creature to battle an enemy creature. Then since this is a level 1 spell, I'll go into my level 2 upgrade pile and pull out that same named card, same color, same name, Trial by Combat, level 2. Give one of your creatures, and then actually the upgrade of this card would allow me to give one of my creatures +6 attack, and I may have it battle an enemy creature. So pretty much I would take this card, put it into my discard pile to hopefully draw into later whenever we get into the Forgeborn level up phase. But for now, that's just an example. Okay, so shuffle up again, and then both players draw 5 cards, and then we'll get into the phases of the game. Okay, draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the initial hand out of the 20 card deck. Shuffle this up right quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card hand for the opponent. And then we will demonstrate how we play the game. I'll move these for the sake of space right now. Okay. So we've got 5 lanes, and then I'm the active player, so I can actually play in the front row of my 5 lanes. The opponent has their own 5 lanes with the front and the back as well. Okay, so I've got the first action. Okay, so we're going into the draw phase. Discard your old hand if this weren't the first turn, so there's no discarding right now. But draw 5 card new hand, which we did, and then go into the action phase. The action phase consists of player 1, who has the Forge card. They play 1 card and pass priority. Okay, now I say play 1 card. There are also free actions. I'll go into the free actions. You can always do a free action as long as you have the ability to do so. But mainly we're going to play 1 card and pass priority. So I've got my first action to take for the turn. And then I will play okay, I'll play Indomitable Fiend, who has a 4 attack and a 2 health. Level 1 creature zombie. If you have the Forge and this is destroyed, reanimate this to the same lane. So I'm going to play this in the first row. I can play it on any row, but I'm going to play it in the front since I'm the active player. Play it there. Okay, so now my turn is over. I'll pass the priority to the opponent. Now they can play a card and they can do some free actions. I'll go ahead and get into the free actions too while I'm at it. The free actions before I let them take their turn. The free actions are, you can play a free card from hand. Some cards are free cards that you can play. A few of them are. Okay, then you can also activate abilities from ready creatures or your ready Forgeborn. Now, notice that the Forgeborn, they don't have level 1 abilities. We're level 1 right now. They don't have level 1 abilities. So at level 2, say that this Forgeborn were ready, I could exhaust it and do its level 2 Forgeborn ability, which is summon up to 2 spell sprites, which are tokens. But I can't do that right now, so not going to worry about it. Okay, so as I said, it's player 2's turn. Player 2, let's say that they play the Metamind Overseer. Oh man, I did the cardinal sin right there, guys. I did the cardinal sin. Okay, so whenever you play a creature or a spell, whenever you play a card, you've got to go and look for the upgraded card and put that into the discard pile. So I forgot to do that. Indomitable Fiend, I'm going to go and dig out Indomitable Fiend, the level 2. And then since this is a creature, I will put it right into the discard pile, right by the deck. Put that into the discard pile. It's all good. Okay, now back to this player's turn. This player is going to play, the opponent is going to play Metamind Overseer, a 2-attack, 5 health creature, Metamind. And then whenever I deploy this creature, I get to summon a Gizmo, which is a token. I can get that from the token deck. Okay, so first thing, whenever you play a creature, you go into your level 2 upgrade pile. You find that same creature, Metamind Overseer, level 2, and then you add that to your discard pile, their discard pile. And I'll put that right there by the deck, right there, discard pile. Okay, so, and then I've got to do the deploy ability, which is to add a Gizmo. Deploy a Gizmo. Gizmo is this token right here. Gizmo. It's a 2-attack, 2 health, creature, robot minion. Minion, not the word token, but minion, aka token. Give creatures replacing this +2/+2. Replacing is whenever you play a creature on top of something. Sometimes you get a buff from playing something on top of something because there's only 2 lanes. Well, I mean, there's only a back row and a front row. So oftentimes you'll have to play creatures on top of other creatures and get rid of the old creature. So we'll summon that to the second lane in the back. Second lane in the back. Then, okay, I've passed priority. The opponent has passed priority. Back to me. You get basically every turn you get to play 2 cards. And then, of course, free actions. So both players get to play 2 cards per turn. Okay, so it's on me now. I'll play Bone Scythe Reaver. It's a 5-attack, 3 health, 1 creature abomination. Whenever I deploy it, destroy an enemy minion. So I'll play this in the front row since I'm the active player. And then I'll get to instantly, as soon as I deploy it, I'll get to destroy an enemy minion. And of course, I'll go with the stronger of the 2 enemy minions. I'll destroy this guy, Metamind, and then put that in the opponent's discard pile. But before I even do that, I need to be upgrading the card as soon as I play it out. So I've got to search for Bone Scythe Reaper in my upgrade pile. The level 2. Okay, so I've got the level 2 Bone Scythe Reaver. And then I will put it into my discard pile, hopefully to draw it up later. Okay. Now we'll go, now I played my card. I'll pass the priority to the opponent. And let's see, let's try to play a spell on this one. Okay, I'll play Toxic Spores. The opponent rather will play Toxic Spores. This is a level 1 spell. You may give a creature +3 health, and you may give another creature -3 health. So before I even activate that, let's go ahead and pull that out of the level 2 upgrade pile. Toxic Spores. Toxic Spores. Okay, so being that this is a spell, spells work a little differently than creatures because spells don't actually get to be living on the board. So I'll do whatever this says. I'll add this upgrade into my discard pile. my discard pile right there, into the opponent's discard pile. I'll play that into the banish zone. This is in the banish zone right now. And then I'll do what it says. So I will make this creature go from a 2 to a 5 because it's gaining 3 health. So it's getting plus 3 health. Is going to a 2/5 from a 2/2. And then I will actually have it to... I'll have it to give the Bone Scythe Reaver minus 3 health, which will effectively destroy the Bone Scythe Reaver. Okay, now whenever creatures die, they do just like spells do. They go to the banish zone because we've already got the upgraded version in the discard pile. You wouldn't want to put two... You wouldn't want to put the lesser one into the discard pile, so it goes to the banish zone. Okay, so now both players have passed priority twice. So then we leave out of the draw phase, and then we go into the action phase. I've also got a handy dandy flowchart that you can maybe copy, or I'll pull it out. So pretty much we go from the draw phase, go into the action phase where both players pass priority twice. They play one card, pass priority, back and forth until they pass priority twice. Then we've got the combat phase. We're going into that next. And then we've got the end phase. And then we've got the Forgeborn level up phase after the 3 cycles of discarding and drawing a new 5-card hand, usually when there's 5 or less cards left in your deck. But anyway, we've already gone through the action phase. Now we'll go into the combat phase. You go into the combat phase every lane, going down every lane. Lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, lane 4, lane 5. And if there is... So pretty much the rules to the combat phase, unless you have an ability to move things in their lane, then creatures stay in their position. Okay, lane 1 to 5, damage stays on creatures. They don't heal between rounds. So these dice and such, they're going to stay on those creatures until they die. So if no creature defends the lane, then the damage goes straight to the opponent's health. Okay. Whenever you use a creature or a Forgeborn's ability, you exhaust them 90 degrees to show that they can't do it again. Okay, back row creatures in the back row, they can only defend or use abilities. They cannot start a fight. They can't initiate the attack. Opposed creatures with at least one being in the front row, and then pretty much opposed is just being in the same lane. So opposed creatures with at least one being in the front row will battle each other. Okay, so that's pretty much the combat. That's pretty much the gist of the combat. So in this first lane right here, Indomitable Fiend is alone in this lane. So he will actually deal his attack to the opponent. So he's dealing 4. If you have the forge and this is destroyed, reanimate this to the same lane. But okay, Indomitable Fiend will hit the opponent for 4 attack. So we go from 50 down to 46. The opponent does. Okay. Now, lane 2 is unopposed. So the Gizmo has a 2 attack, which will be dealt to my health, taking me from 50 down to 48. And then looks like there's no other creatures in any other lanes. So we're done with the combat phase for this round. And then we go to the end phase. Move your non-defender creatures from the back to the front row. So now the Gizmo gets to move up to the front row. And then the active player passes the forge. So I used to have the forge. Now I give the forge to the opponent. And then ready exhausted creatures. Both players were ready exhausted creatures, but we didn't have any exhausted. And then basically we go back up to the draw phase. And then we do that 3 times. Okay, yeah, so we do that 3 times. And then going into the draw phase, I'll start off the draw phase. We would discard our old hand. So we would discard this hand, put that in the discard pile, and draw a fresh 5 cards from our previously 20 card deck. So discard this hand, draw a new card, draw a new hand of 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw a new hand. And then we pretty much go back through the phases again. We did the draw phase again for the second time. We do the action phase again, where both players, starting with the player holding the forge, they play 1 card and pass priority. Or if they have a free action, they can also do a free action. Then they pass the priority to the second player. They play 1 card, pass priority. Goes back to player 1. They play 1 card, pass priority. Then goes back to player 2. Play 1, pass priority. Then once that's done, once both players pass priority twice, then we go into the combat phase like we just did. Then we go to the end phase. Move your non-defender creatures from the back row to the front row. Active player passes the forge. Ready exhausted creatures. And then we do that one more time for a total of 3 cycles. Then we go into the Forgeborn level up phase. After 3 cycles of discarding and drawing a new 5 card hand, usually when there's only 5 or less cards left in your deck, you will ready your Forgeborn if they're exhausted. You shuffle your draw deck and your discard piles together to make a new draw deck. So you're going to have these upgraded cards in your new deck. And then you will level up your Forgeborn by advancing the level counter. So the Forgeborn, they start the game at a level 1 with no power. Then once we get to the Forgeborn level up phase, then we're going to move them up to level 2. Both Forgeborn go to level 2. Now they have access to this ability, Summon the Swarm. So once, as a free action during your turn, you can summon up to 2 spell sprites. You would exhaust this Forgeborn, and then you would do that ability. Summon up to 2 tokens, aka 2 minions. 2 minions. Okay? You level up your Forgeborn by advancing the level counter. If you're already at level 4, right here, right all the way down here, if you're already at level 4, then that triggers sudden death. So if you're already at level 4, sudden death happens. And then in sudden death, you lose as soon as your opponent has more health. So we try to go for 1 more hit, and then whoever has least health, they lose the game. And that, my friends, is how you play SolForge Fusion. You got any questions? Please leave them in the comments. Don't hesitate. And that's all I got for you. It's your boy Foyo Games. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.